Look at him. He starts out juicy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. You ever been that juicy? Just sitting around your apartment being mad at stuff and still juicy? I feel like I get dry when I fill with rage. But Matt Walsh gets juicy. Huh. Anyway. Here's Matt being mad about trans folks. And he's reading happily the J.K. Rowling thing that she said. So she's not going to be speaking, I don't think. I think he's just reading an article or whatever. Yeah, he's not. Why provide clips, Matt? Why, whatever. He uses 3 chapsticks a day. Dude, he is, I mean, he's voluptuous. So here's Matt Walsh talking about this with Johnny the fucking Walrus in the background. And over here, subtle Matthew.
J.K. Rowling slammed a new transgender bill that would lower the age at which a person can legally change their gender to from 18 to 16, a move that she said will hurt the most vulnerable women in our society. The First Minister of Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon, introduced a gender recognition reform bill that allows a trans person to legally change their gender and receive a new birth certificate with their gender on it through easier means than before.
Yep.
The author said the law Nicola Sturgeon's trying to pass in Scotland will harm the most vulnerable women in society, those seeking help after male violence/rape and incarcerated women.
Wait, what? I'm confused how, I don't know, is he saying... Okay, so the only property that I know about this bill that he has said is that it allows people to seek a different birth certificate should they choose so. And is there something else in part of that? Am I just high? What? I don't understand how those two things interact. How does someone going to the DMV and having a bad afternoon, how does that hurt folks? Hey, did you know you could, at a younger age, you too could enjoy the systems of bureaucracy we've put into place for you to have an identity? Isn't that nice? Isn't that a nice thing we've done for them? Okay, sure. Yeah, that's barely pro-trans. In fact, I think that's almost like secret subversive harm. Isn't the age of majority in Scotland 16? I don't know. I have no clue. Why would I know these things?
Statistics show that imprisoned women are already far more likely to have been previously abused. Rowling followed up her post noting that...
Saying that... Wait. Because trans people... Okay, so the logic is... Pardon my understanding of this. What she is saying is that trans people, as a demographic, face a high per capita level of abuse, so therefore they should not have access to the DMV or the Hall of Records or wherever they keep your fucking birth certificate, City Hall. You should not have access to that at 16 years old. Can they get a license at 16? Can trans people... Like, I don't understand. Okay.
Multiple women's groups have presented well-sourced evidence to Nicola Sturgeon's government about the likely negative consequences of this legislation for women and girls, especially the most vulnerable.
This is such a non sequitur, it feels like I'm just stupid and not getting the point. Is that, like, am I misunderstanding this fundamentally? Or do these two things not really make sense to talk about at the same time?
And as we know, J.K. Rowling has been on this sort of crusade, and I say that in the most positive way possible, for a long time. And as she was going back and forth about this on Twitter, someone hit her with the thing that I'm very familiar with, which is the old, are you sure you want to die on this hill? And a woman by the name of Wanda said to J.K. Rowling, you really want your legacy to die on this hill, J.K. Rowling? And Rowling responded, yes, sweetheart, I'm staying right here on this hill, defending the right of women and girls to talk about themselves, their bodies, and their lives in any way they damn well please. You worry about your legacy, I'll worry about mine. I mean, this is real courage from J.K. Rowling and all.
Why is it courage from J.K. Rowling? J.K. Rowling does so much fucking harm to the trans community, and I don't know why she like what her actual motivation is. I know that she cites like her own experiences with abuse or whatever, which I'm sorry that any of that had to happen. That's not really an ideal situation though. I don't think we want one of the most popular children's authors ever telling the world that she doesn't think trans people should exist in the way that they do, and like I think that's an understatement. I don't know who she has in her circle, but I'm surprised that not one of them can get through to her. I don't know what she's got going on. I don't know if she gets covered a lot more in the UK or something, but in the US, I feel as though we don't know very much about her as a society. But like, god damn, dude, like, what is going on with her fucking head? She's just, I see her on Twitter all the time, and like every single day she spends like her time doing this. One of them, like, she's a billionaire. She could go to fucking Cabo tomorrow. She could go spend time in like with her family. Does she have a family? I don't even know. She could go do whatever, but instead she's on Twitter fucking just doom scrolling about trans folks and like getting validated by far right people. Like she was endorsing she was endorsing publicly all of these fucking anti-trans bills. And you know, slamming pro-trans bills. It's actually wild. She literally lives in a castle. I was abused by a black man, so I hate black people. J.K. Rowling. I mean, that's honestly, that kind of mentality does exist in the UK, though. Liam Neeson actually talked about this once to varying degrees of understanding, but nonetheless, he said basically when he was a kid, he got attacked or something by some black folks, and just forever, he was racist for a long time when he was a kid, and he talked about it. He like, you know, obviously put undue prejudice on people that didn't deserve it. I thought it was an interesting thing. Yeah, I remember hearing about that too. But like I'd rather talk to an ex-racist about their experience and be like, hey, yeah, okay, that sucks, than be like, oh, how dare you ever be racist? It's like, I mean, some people are racist. I'd rather embrace the part of you that's willing to admit that, I guess. So I don't know. Shit fucks you up, yeah, of course, right? So I have a little more empathy, or not really empathy, I guess sympathy for that. Never been attacked like that, but
always give her credit for it, even though
like, she hasn't been abused by trans folks. So I don't really understand the line she's drawing.
She were ever made aware of who I am, she would probably hate my guts and disagree with everything that I say, except on the topic of gender. And even on the topic of gender, she'd probably disagree with most of what I say, because she's not even taking the position that transgenderism itself is sort of like incoherent. At least she's not openly taking that position. She's taking a much more minimalist approach to this, and really focusing on the ways that, you know, women, the children are indoctrinated into it, you know, the way women's sports teams are being invaded, locker rooms and prisons and that sort of thing.
Locker rooms and prisons. We must worry about the prisons having trans people in them. I can't imagine. See, this is why the other day when Greg Abbott's terrible Texas bill got put under injunction and will no longer have to negatively affect trans Texans, which is a W. This is why the other day we hung out and we just did Gordon Ramsay stuff on the live stream that if you don't come to, you ought to. And you like, man, what a better way to spend our evening than having to yet again defend you against just this dumb, like, it's just hate, man. It's not. They've stopped saying interesting things, like going like, but what actually is gender? Because through those conversations, we figured it out. Like, we're at the answer. We've gotten the answer. Trans people are valid. That's where we're at. Like, it was an interesting conversation for a minute when I was super ignorant of it, and the world was ignorant of trans folks, and you got visibility for a little bit, like sort of that, like very around the Trump years, right? Transness really started to become, like, the experience of a trans person started to become a little bit more vocalized. People in the trans community themselves specifically you know, came out and were teaching people, and I learned a lot. And I feel like the world has kind of like, okay, now we understand, or at least the Western world, we understand, and okay. And then there's some other group for some reason that was just like, no, no. It's like, why? This is just freedom. It's just freedom. You don't have to do it or anything. But it is freedom. It's a type of person that exists, and that's fine. Who cares? This is not a thing I feel like would have been an issue. I don't know. In certain universes, we could have lived it. Like if the free speech warriors actually gave a shit about free speech, they would feel equally as fervent about freedom of expression, and that would extend to trans folks, and that would be end of, right? The internet culture wouldn't have fractured right there. But they didn't care about that. They were just fucking conservatives, bro. They were just conservatives the whole time. The whole fucking time. It's not about freedom. It's never been about that. If it was, this wouldn't be a discussion. At least Matt Walsh is a Catholic open conservative. Like, why did the free speech people... Why is Sargon of Akkad defending this? You know what I mean? Why are those guys defending this shit? It doesn't add up. It makes no sense. It's identity politics. It's, you guys... Oh, you believe that wacky thing? Here's some... I can make some clicks. And then they get the clicks and they start believing their own bullshit. They feel validated. It's just a fuck box, dude.
But even that minimalist approach to this issue will still put you in line for an unimaginable avalanche of hatred and outrage, especially if you're someone like J.K. Rowling, as famous as she is, and famous not in, conservative media, but famous mainstream. Having cultivated this fan base, many of whom, are leftists. And she has chosen, just because she believes in this issue, she has chosen to, she's got $1 billion, but she's chosen to do something that's going to alienate many of her fans. Mm-hmm. It's going to hurt her career prospects going forward, and it's going to detract from her bottom line. And I guarantee it already has. And even if you have $1 billion, even if you have money and power, we've seen that it takes courage to do that.
Okay. No. No. Her new movie just came out. They did like the 20th year anniversary thing. Harry Potter Harry Potter stuff is still pretty popular because a lot of people don't have Twitter, and a lot of people this doesn't go like, I don't know. She's making her bag, dude. She's got money. She's got such perpetual success forever. She'll never stop making money. She'll make, she's not going into the red, okay? She might make less money than she did the year before, but she's not going to make no money. Like, a billionaire being less profitable than the year before is not a fucking, a tragedy. There's no bravery in that. Oh, shit, I only made $1 million this year. I only made $12 million. And she's going to make dozens of millions of dollars this year and next year and the year after, forever, in perpetuity. The Harry Potter franchise is perpetual, right? Everybody fucking, you can't tell middle America not to show their kids Harry Potter, even if they start disagreeing with it, because they're going to be like, fuck, this exists. And some people won't out of conviction or whatever, which is fine. Like we have Harry Potter stuff. I remember when we got together, Sarah and I sat down and watched all the Harry Potter movies, and all the actors and the people involved in it are pro-trans to my knowledge. It's just the one person, Sully's it, but she makes the money from it. And so we haven't watched them since we moved in together. And it's not because it's like some sort of fucking protest or some sort of wokey thing. It's just because it's sort of fuck J.K. Rowling. I'll watch something else. It's just sort of she sort of ruined it. You know what I mean? Just sort of fucked it up. It sullied it. It sucks that you find out that someone sucks. That's always bad. Anyone ever find out one of their parents sucks? That sucks. That's kind of like what it is when something that's formative in your childhood ends up being shitty, right?
Courage that almost no one in our culture has.
I absolutely have the bravery to say something that won't make me the most money, Matthew. I do.
To do something.
I'm a socialist on the internet.
Because it's the right thing, knowing that you will not benefit from it in any way. You're not going to benefit financially. You're not going to benefit with more fame. I mean, J.K. Rowling can't get more famous than she already was. You're not going to benefit by all the applause and adulation you receive.
Isn't this wild how he...
Because instead you're going to be mocked and jeered.
This is not what bravery is, bro.
Almost no one has the courage for that. Well, I hope...
Matt out here thinks no one mocks or jeers at him, or is he saying that he's brave? Which one do you think he picks? Which one do you think he self-describes himself? Self-describes himself. Which one? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he thinks he's also, when he says it, he's also brave, chat. Dumbass. He would probably argue, no, because that's not, liberals aren't my fan base. Nah, but like, you know what you're doing. This is part of your this is part of the bag, man. You say stuff and then the people with the red hats go, I like it! And then it's over. Like, they just go, I like it! That's good. You ever seen old people? You ever seen old people watch fucking Fox News? They're like, yeah! Fuck, they're taking our jobs! My dad was like that. Like, stop. What the fuck is wrong? I don't know, dude. I don't know why I was doing like an Italian guy, but I don't know why he was Italian. Hey, I'm trying. The transes, they're ruining everything. They're throwing a fucking party. Come on. I don't know why. Let's go, Brandon type. Let's go, Brandon, folks, dude.